Dani. Welcome to this episode dedicated to the unseen gowns of Miss Universe 2022. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell and sharing the channel with a friend. And if you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by hitting the super thanks button or by shopping in the merch store. And if you're preparing for a competition, check out my free pageant prep course in the description. Miss Universe is such a phenomenal opportunity to showcase the talents of designers all around the world. And I love that we get to see so much creativity and artistry, but some gowns never make it to the final stage. So let's talk about them. At finals rehearsals, Miss Colombia was seen in this very vibrant green gown. Now she wore a pink gown for prelims and a dark green gown for finals, but we never saw this green gown hit the competition stage. So I don't know if she was wearing this green gown and it was just for rehearsals. I don't know if it was an option for her or if there was some kind of last minute switch, but I do believe that the two gowns that she did choose to wear were her best options. I am so sad that I do not have a full body video or picture of the gown I'm about to show you, but take a look at France. I saw this video clip of her and I'm assuming this is right after the show. I assume this is what she was going to wear for finals. How gorgeous, stunning, unexpected, and unique is this gown. She wore pearls for prelims. We get to see her wear pearls for finals. Oh my gosh, I'm just upset about this. I'm upset that we did not get to see this gown in its full glory. I'm mad. Now, I talked about Brazil's gown in another episode when I was talking about her preliminary performance, but then she showed up with this as an option for finals, and oh my gosh, I said it before, Brazil was coming to win with these gowns. Okay, friends, she really was. Now, this gown, its significance and meaning is tied to the ocean, and I love that. Love the nautical vibes going on. I mean, this gown was something else. This gown should be used at Miss Earth. As much as I loved Thailand's gown, I need to know more about this gown. So I believe this photo is from rehearsals and she's wearing a tiger gown. Actually, Vietnam wore a swan gown years ago, but this looks interesting. It's not a great image of it, but it's an image and I like it and I want to know more. This footage and photos were released of Miss Mexico after the pageant, and my guess is that this was her finals gown, and what a gown it would have been. This gown was incredible. It was perfect. I love it. I think it would have been the right choice. I totally agree. The white for prelims, the red for finals. It's a power move. She looked amazing in it. Loved it. Just everything. The fringe. They needed a top 20. Actually, they needed a top 25 this year. Vietnam, breaking my heart over here. She was front and center during the parade of gowns for finals, and I got to see this gown up close. This gown was something else in person. Wow. Just, I love it. Love it. Love the touches of pink. She looked incredible in it. I am so sad that we did not get to see her compete in this gown. Argentina wore a gown by a Venezuelan designer, and that doesn't surprise me because in recent years, Los Sousa has been preparing the Miss Argentina title holders for Miss Universe. And this gown was beautiful. It was a perfect change. Love this. Love it. I think it's a great choice. Cascading waterfall beading down the back. And I'm sure this gown would have looked just unreal under the lights. Czech Republic posted this photo and I am just not sure that this is actually a finals gown. I don't know. This could have just been something she threw on after the show, or this could have been from a rehearsal. I don't know where this image is coming from, but I would say I would prefer this to her preliminary gown, although even though I prefer it, I still think she needed a different gown entirely. Nicaragua, beautiful gown, really cool, just like draped shoulder detail on this. Reminds me of Andrea Mesa's gown. It had a very similar piece that was attached to the shoulders, but I actually preferred her prelims gown. I thought it was really beautiful. Germany posted this selfie, but I didn't see her anywhere else in this dress that I had noticed. But it looks like she had this other red gown as an option. I think that already this is probably looking like a better option than her prelims gown, so I really wish she wouldn't have saved it. Philippines, 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 my goodness. So we could expect the Philippines was gonna have a gown change, and there was a lot of speculation, what would it be? So this is from rehearsal. Now this evening gown that we're seeing her in, to me, looks very similar, especially if we're talking about the shape, the cut, the silhouette, to her winning evening gown at Miss Universe Philippines. I've talked about this, and I said in my episode where I actually styled her for pretend, just for funsies, I said that it's not uncommon to see a Miss Universe winner carry something over from their nationals competition to Miss Universe and for it to do well. And so this doesn't surprise me that we're seeing a gown almost just like her national winning gown. But there were also these other styles that we saw her in. And these images came out after the competition, but these were also some amazing gowns. Now, I'm not sure which one I would have chosen out of these styles. I would have had to have seen each of them under some stage lights to really make that final decision. Although I do think that the ones that she didn't go with, even though they looked incredible on her, they were quite sexy, and I feel like they looked much more Miss Grand International than Miss Universe, so I can understand why she would wear a gown that was very similar to her national gown. Slovak Republic, when I was sitting in the audience and watching them about to do their parade of gowns, I just remember spotting her and seeing her in the back and leaning over to Lisa Opie, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lisa, look at Slovak Republic. Her gown, she should have wore that at her prelims. She should have wore it. Great Britain changed her gown, but I actually preferred her preliminary pink gown to this green one. This green one looked like either a Sherry Hill or a Giovanni green mirrored gown. Nothing that we haven't seen before, so I like the pink because it was more unique. Namibia? Oh my gosh. Why was this saved? Okay, now I will say her gown looked really beautiful on stage in person for prelims. Really, really beautiful. But I just love this one. I just love it. I love the top. The top is unique. I love how it's just structured and just like stands out. Finland changed her gown, and she went from this iridescent mermaid type of fabric to this really beautiful white, but I still feel like there was something off about the fit of this gown. There's something about the skirt of her finals gown that I was like, and I think it would have needed just tons more stones for Miss Universe. A lot more rhinestones. Honduras. First of all, so many fans cheering for her in the audience, loved that for her. And her gown for prelims was fine. It was beautiful, she looked beautiful. But this gown should have seen the stage. It should have seen the stage lights. It really just does something for her shape too. Just look at the comparison. And that's what I mean. It's a lot of times the gown, it's not even the girl, it's the gown sometimes that really changes the look of a contestant. It changes the look of her figure. And as you can see, in one gown, her waist is really accentuated, and then in this blue one, I just feel like it's widened. Turkey had this gown, I believe, for finals, but the thing is, sometimes a contestant, if she doesn't place, she won't wear the actual dress that she planned to wear for finals, she'll just wear something else. And sometimes that's a deal that contestants can make with a designer, because that designer does not want their gown on that stage if it's not in finals. Like, they do not want that gown seen because they want to put it on another contestant. So that's just something, a side note I thought I would mention. Now, this gown, I just don't feel like this is doing anything for her. Like the gray, it's not really helping her to stand out. I personally wish that the placement of the tulle on the sleeve was somewhere else on the arm. And if I were her, I would have just stuck with the prelims gown. Indonesia had this other option for evening gown. Now, I actually, interestingly enough, preferred this to her prelims gown. I just thought it was like more couture and fun and unique. Somebody please tell me the name of this fabric on the top of the gown. I always forget the name of it. I feel like it's a type of organza, but really, really beautiful. Although I will say, I really was surprised by this gown choice because I have loved some of the choices in the past for Indonesia, and I just felt like her gown was not as unique as some of the other Miss Indonesias that we've seen in recent years. Like, look at Miss Indonesia 2020, okay? That gown with the sleeves, glove things? Look at 2019. What happened? For finals, I believe Italy had this Roberto Cavalli gown planned, but I actually much prefer her preliminary gown. I feel like that was definitely the choice. I would have just stayed with the red for all of it. This is fine, this is great, but I just for me, it doesn't have that like pop for the pageant stage. Nepal's gown, I have to say that I think that it's giving me more grand vibes. At grand, you're gonna see gowns that really accentuate the bust, that draw that attention, okay, to this region. And I feel like that's what we were seeing from this gown. So I still would have gone with a different gown for finals. Nigeria. Why? Why was this gown saved? Why? This gown should have been used for prelims and then another one for finals. This is the standard we should be at. This gown, when I saw this in person, was incredible. This gown was something else on stage under the lights, let me tell you. That's all for today's episode, friend. Please be sure to check out the other Miss Universe episodes that I created prior to the pageant if you haven't seen all of those, as well as all the additional episodes that I created. I'm also sharing my favorite top 20 unplaced performances for swim and gown, and of course my Miss Universe vlog with lots more behind the scenes of the entire experience during Miss Universe week. So I hope that you really enjoy that one, but thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and I hope that you subscribed and that I'll see you real soon.